everybody, and welcome to another edition of Cooking a la Quarantine. I'm Jason, and today we're going to make Christmas cookies. And I know you're probably looking at my shirt backwards. It's not backwards. Well, there are two types of people in the world. Those that think Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and those that are wrong. So let's yippee-ki-yay up a little bit and make some sugar cookies. Okay, now this recipe is from my friend Becky Walcott, who designed my aprons. She designed my design. She sent me this sugar cookie recipe, and I tell you what, it's awesome. It's cakey. It's better than Brown's Orchard. And Brown's Orchard cookies were always very special around this time of the year because it'd be the one or two times I'd get to go home and my mom would stash a couple of cookies for our drive back or whatever. And we're going to make these. So we've got some stuff going on. We've got some Christmas cookie cutters. Got a cane. Got a gingerbread man. I have no idea how that's going to turn out. I've got a Christmas tree. And then from our friends up at the Cryptozoology Museum, I got a Bigfoot. Why? Because it's 2020. So let's get started. Now, what this calls for, and this is one of the very unique recipes, this is why I've actually bought shortening. So this thing calls for 3/4 of a cup of shortening, 1.5 cups of sugar, a dash of salt, a teaspoon of baking soda, teaspoon of vanilla, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, 3 eggs, 3.5 cups flour, 1 cup of milk, 400 for 8 minutes. Now, I have cooked this before, and what I found out talking to Becky, the elevation requires you to add a little bit more flour. Now, I'm not really sure how much, but when it gets to the right consistency, I'll be able to show you. So we'll put our cookie cutters over here. I'm going to pop my 3 eggs in my KitchenAid mixer. And we'll be right back because I got to wash my hands. Baking soda, or 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 3 teaspoons of baking powder. This is baking soda. This is baking powder. They're completely different chemicals. I'm not sure exactly what they do, but they're completely different. Now, 1, 2, 3. Now, here's the thing with vanilla and stuff. I'm just gonna eyeball it. You just give it a little dash. If you add too much, that becomes a problem. So, dash of salt, 1.5 cups sugar, because it is a sugar cookie recipe. My dad didn't make this, but he got it for me for Christmas one year. So, everybody, this is a tried and true cookie recipe that works for me. And I've been sharing all the recipes at the bottom of the page, and thanks for sharing everything. So we've got, gonna get 1 cup of milk, Okay, here's the crazy part. 3/4 cup shortening. Now the flour and the milk you add alternately. Um, that's how I did it. Well, you know, the interesting thing is somebody said to me one time, they said, why do you say happy holidays instead of Merry Christmas? And I don't. I go back and forth and all the above because being the world cultures teacher that I was, there are 14 or 15 holidays, depending on the calendar year, that also fall into the Christmas season. So, being a little inclusive, thinking a little bit outside the box. That's okay. It's like this. It's like, is Die Hard really a Christmas movie? Yes. Why is it a Christmas movie? Number one, it happens during a Christmas party at Nakatomi Plaza. Number two, it is completely unrealistic. Number three, it's a complete 80s movie. Now, the interesting thing is, and I bet you might not have known this, it was actually in thoughts back in the 70s with one of my favorite singers, Frank Sinatra. Now, could you imagine old Blue Eyes saying yippee-ki-yay? No. But it could have happened. So we're going to put this together. I'm going to add some milk in. And like I said, if you have to add a little bit more flour, so be it. You got your 1 cupper here. And you know, if you get to spend time with your relatives this holiday season, then cherish that time and maybe cook something in the kitchen. Give it a shot. I know if my parents were here, we'd be cooking something, and we would definitely be going to Doug Saul's to get some frog legs. So I'm putting a half in here, and we'll see how that turns out. And we'll be right back. All right, so what I did was I added about another 1.5 cups of flour, and I floured the board here and the pin. Probably need more flour, but and like I said, this is one that my dad made, and we'll cut some candy canes, and I'm going to grab a cookie sheet and I'm going to grease it, so we'll be right back. Okay, so since it is 2020, I am making some Christmas Bigfoots from our friends up at the Cryptozoology Museum. See, Here's the thing with those guys, and it's like with Harris Robinette beef. Somebody said, "Well, why do you talk about them all the time?" And you know, why do you support these guys so much? It's real simple. When I started out, they supported me when nobody else did. All right, so we've got our cookies here, and I thought it was ready to be Santa Claus approved. I was wrong. My wife said we have to frost them. I said, well, okay, we'll make frosting. So this is the easiest frosting recipe you'll ever see. Now, it's 3 cups of powdered sugar, and that's a half cup, so we need 6 of these. You might have to add a little bit more later, but for the start, this is what it is. Now, what we're doing is we're making, while we're doing this cookie stuff, I'm making Will's blue grits for shrimp and grits. And I want to make this clear. It's not dyed. It's blue organic grits made with blue organic corn. Okay? And I will post a picture because these are the coolest things ever. So you use a half stick of butter, no kidding, and a splash of milk, about 3 tablespoons. I'm going to guess that's about it. And we're going to go real slow. And this will just form up into some nice frosting that we're going to dye because it's Christmas time. And I've got some red dye and some green dye and, you know. Well, if it's this coarse, you add a little bit more milk. Just like that. Pa-bam. Frosted. I've made this twice in my life. Now, just so Santa Claus can get a cooking a la quarantine approved cookie. All right, that didn't work. So, we're going to be right back. All right, so we got our cookies done, non-frosted, but I really have been a very good boy this year, so I want to make sure that Santa Claus brings me something. So I made sure mine have extra frosting and extra sugar because those are great. And to summarize 2020 in a cookie, my Bigfoot cookie. Santa Claus, when you squeeze your fat ass down my chimney, these will be right here for you. Listen, everybody, have a great Christmas, have a great holiday, and I'll catch you soon. Remember, be kind, be excellent to each other, and have a great day. Merry Christmas.